All right, everybody, how's it going out there? We are live. This is After the Cast, Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. So, how's everybody doing out there? I see we got people watching, and definitely want to let everybody know that we did have a super fan who passed away recently. Really strange. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but it's amazing how you'll be talking to somebody and then next thing you know, you find out they have passed away. So just want to say a quick hello. Let's see who's all here right now. So we have Diane Boss. We have Barry and Straw Dog here right now, at least through YouTube. And I see we've got other people here probably watching through Twitter or Facebook or all the above. So welcome, everybody. Glad you are here. So I want to bring on my lovely hat-wearing co-host. There she is.
Yeah, it's because
look at who's here today.
Yeah, your hat-wearing co-host needs to go get her haircut.
Having a bad hair day, honey.
Hey, everyone.
So yeah, so here we are. We are back live. We got a lot to talk about. And Diane says she's doing great. So that's awesome to see that. So
I like Barry's comment. Are we going to talk about the good use of a $400,000 missile?
Yeah, Barry, we are. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff tonight. Might even ruffle a few feathers out there. And, I'm kind of okay with that. So, yeah, to bring down a $22 balloon. Yeah, we're going to get into that.
Figure if we don't piss somebody off, we're not doing something right.
Well, we don't necessarily want to piss people off, but it's going to happen because, you can't please all the people all the time. So with that being said, Michelle, where are you going right now? Where are you?
If there's luggage involved, I'm on the escalator.
The escalator down that
there
rabbit
we go.
hole. There it is. There you go. Your hair's longer. You're not wearing a hat. What's going on?
Very funny.
All right, everybody. Just need to do just a quick shout out to everybody that's watching right now. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you coming and sharing your Saturday evening with us. And we might as well just go ahead and get the fellas brought in because, they've become a mainstay here and absolutely love these two guys. So let's do Age Before Beauty. How about that? Do we want to do that today?
Bring on the family.
Bring on the fam.
They're family.
All right. So Age Before Beauty, huh? Which one? I see Burton's backstage just cracking up.
Dying laughing.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and bring on the one, the only. My hair's messed up. Leave me alone. I just woke up from a nap, and when I woke up, I thought it was 1979. It's Guy Merritt.
It's the story of a great big family. You know how the boxes are popping up like that
over there. Yeah.
If we had like three more, she can be Marsha and I can be.
Well, we can only have so many people on because of the plan that we pay for. So
yeah, just don't throw a football at me.
The budget plan. That's why you got me on here,
Well, yeah, I mean that's why we're on here.
There was a rumor I was free, so.
Well, I just sent you a message and was like, dude, you want to do this? Yeah, I guess so. I got nothing else to do. I'm retired.
Hey, Guy, what does the rest of that shirt say? I see get in loser.
You know what's funny? And I swear to God, I did just wake up from a nap and, man, I was out. And I ran into the laundry room and grabbed a shirt. And our daughter in LA bought me this about 2 years ago. And this was on a stack. It says, get in loser. We're doing butt stuff.
Oh, man.
Yeah. She sent it to me 1 year for Christmas.
That's great.
Get in loser. We're doing
not butt stuff.
Yeah, she's a character.
Oh
know,
my
she-
God.
She believes my story, but it's it's.
Of course.
But
All right.
that's another story. But I get picked on a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah.
All
right.
You can't ruffle my feathers because if anybody hasn't noticed, I happen to be of the featherless variety. So anyway, onward and upward.
All right. So I guess we need to bring on the other member of the fam. So I guess this would be the beauty of the podcast.
Definitely of the male
You know?
part. Yeah.
Yeah. We got the beanie wearing badass of Detroit Paranormal.
She looks.
Scene.
Seriously. She looks cool tonight. I like that.
Michelle's got the hat going, but we have Burton Bagger Stock from Lost in the Dark and Follow the Reaper. What is going on, man? Oh, you even got new shades going there.
I got my Tony Iommi glasses. That's what I call these.
There we go.
My Tony Iommi glasses, and live from Michigan, it's Saturday night, everybody. Come on. I can't believe none of us have made that joke yet.
I know, for real.
I had that in my back pocket for a couple of weeks. I was just waiting for it. But no, thank you guys as always for having me. This is going to be a really fun one. I did just drop a new episode of Follow the Reaper earlier today, advertising this whole thing, and I actually got some really crazy news a couple days ago that I can't totally announce yet. For Lost in the Dark, something really cool is happening. But the next time we do one of these, I'll be able to talk about it.
Bro, sweet.
Yeah. So some pretty cool stuff is happening, and yeah. So
they dropped the government dropped the charges. Is that no? I'm just
They didn't find any evidence in that white van with no windows or anything in.
Because Michelle looks like one of those MIBs that shows up after you do something bad. She looks like one of those people that knocks on your door and
I'm like, Michelle, what do you need? What do you mean
you
need a haircut? Just grow it out.
Okay, you know how short my hair is? You know how awkward it gets when you go from short?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That is a thing. That is totally a thing. Something that Wayne doesn't have to worry about.
Nope.
No, but I need to shave his head again. It's getting fuzzy.
This is getting weird.
I was gonna say you have a little more fuzz on there than normal.
A little bit of fuzz. I need to shave it tomorrow.
It's been one hell of a week, man, and
oh
wow, just we're working real hard to get through this work week to get to this 3-day weekend. So just crazy stuff. So I guess we should kind of let everybody know what we're going to be jumping into here. So one of the first things I'm going to want to do is talk about Big Ed. And I don't want to dwell on it because I don't know if he would like it. He was a very funny guy, and but we'll talk about that in a minute. And then we're going to talk about popping balloons. And what's going on? I mean, I've had strange run-ins with people at the local Coney Island, and that we do the little commercial for. And we've had some strange conversations about what do you think this is?
What's that place called?
Oh,
New Boston Coney and Grill.
New Boston Coney and Grill. Hold on.
Traveling near New Boston, Michigan? Hungry? Well, then you need to check out New Boston Coney and Grill tucked away at 37005 Huron River Drive. With daily specials, homemade soups and desserts, and a staff that makes you feel like family, you will not be disappointed. Give them a try for dine-in or carry-out at 734-606-5313. You can find their page, including their menu, on Facebook. Bon appetit!
Big shout out to our family out there at that little restaurant. It's so awesome.
Those Coney fries look outstanding.
They have the best Coney
chicken. They just celebrated 1 year, so it was like free desserts.
Yes.
So this morning when Wayne went, I'm like, bring me back a Tres Leches. I'm
Yeah.
like, that her cake is just amazing.
Yeah. Yep. And Hellfire is asking, by the way, Hellfire Studios, welcome, man. Good to see you, Barry. Welcome. Rick Davis is here. Hey, man. Great seeing you. The
Hi,
real Coney
Diane.
Island is in New York. Yes. Yes, it is.
Is Diane here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Diane's
she's here.
Because she helped make Charlie an international celebrity.
Correct.
And
wow.
I've got. Can you see what I uploaded there?
Yes,
I don't know.
I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, I wanted. She told me she had pups, and I felt bad because Charlie's now getting fan mail from around the world, thanks to Diane always going show Charlie. So she sent me some pictures of her pups. So before we've got so much to get into that's serious.
Yep.
I thought we could do some 1 minute of silliness. If you can,
Yeah.
we got
all
that
right.
for
Oh,
us.
Yeah.
it's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
I wanna talk
we also
about
have Scott Blight is here from Ontario. Welcome, man.
Hi, Scott.
And we have Tabin Rice has joined us, and he's a new member of our group, our Facebook group. So welcome,
That's
man.
cool.
Good to see you. And Diane, yes, you are there. Okay. We see you. We have something for you. Here you go. Oh, this is cute.
Oh,
Oh,
Isn't he
Pitbull.
cute?
look at that bumper.
Look at those
And
two.
Marley.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Goodness.
I don't know
Harley
these
and
guys'
Marley?
names. Some anonymous
on.
chihuahuas.
It's pretty good, actually.
Thanks
Thank
to
you,
Diane and her
Diane.
pups for being part of the
And-
Michigan UFO sightings and paranormal encounters. Woof woof.
I like the wolves in the background. That was good.
Yeah, that was my project this morning because Diane.
That
Aw.
was awesome.
No, yeah, and
Awesome.
I did want to give a special shout out to Diane because she reached out to me. And Diane, I know you're watching. If you have any stories that I've been meaning to reach out to you for the last week, I just have not had the time yet. But if you have any stories that you want to share on Follow the Reaper, please reach out. I will be happy to share your stories. So yeah, thank you for being a supporter.
Yeah, and so anybody that watches in the future or is watching now, if you have any like paranormal stories you want to get out there, you can email us and Burton. He'll put it out on Follow the Reaper. So
Both of
all
us.
that contact information is down below in the show description. So you'll find links to everything down there. And I guess I'm supposed to mention too that you can also find our links for the Michigan UFO sightings and paranormal encounters podcast, like our merchandise store.
Oh, there's my sister.
Wow.
Hey,
Katie.
Katie.
I saw her. I think on Facebook, she works with a group that
Yeah.
kind of fights human trafficking.
Yes, Ellie's
which is
house.
very cool. I was very
Huge
impressed
shout out
with
to Ellie's
me.
house. That is her profession. That is she's
Wow.
done that for many years.
That's
Yeah,
terrific,
yeah.
man.
No, it's really huge shout out to Katie and Ellie's house. Yeah, definitely, because that's
Yeah.
I actually had her on Lost in the Dark episode where that's pretty much all we talked about.
That's great.
And yeah, that's it. It really is a great organization and something that she's very passionate about. So they hold like a sort of like a gala thing every year that I went to once, and like it's all fantastic, and she is the mastermind behind a lot of it.
Well,
So
it's certainly a great cause, a great
Yes.
thing to do.
yeah, no, she's literally a superhero. She is literally a superhero. So huge shout out to you, Katie.
Awesome.
What about Ed?
You know
let's,
what?
let's can we talk?
Hold on.
All right, okay. I get
One
carried
second
away.
here, because
I need my medicine.
I got something else I need to share real quick.
Oh, what do you got?
Uh,
You got a lot of
Yeah.
surprises.
you know what? We're gonna be a dog show tonight.
That's
Yeah.
what oh man, who's that?
Oh,
Look
look
at
at
that beautiful dog.
gorgeous.
That is Apollo, and this was just sent to me from Hellfire Studios.
Wow.
Beautiful.
German
Look
Shepherds.
at that.
Do we
Look
have
at
a
that.
name? Hellfire, do
Apollo.
we have a name? Oh, Apollo. Apollo is
Yeah.
his name. Okay. All right.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful dog.
Beautiful.
Gotta get some Greek mythology in there. I love German
Yep.
Shepherds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for
that's-
sharing, Hellfire.
Yeah.
And
thank
glad
you.
you're here.
That's I grew up with Katie, and I actually grew up with a German Shepherd, and my parents currently have half German Shepherd, and they think half Husky, but they're not sure. They got it from the Humane Society in Michigan. But yeah, it's his best dog ever. Best dog ever.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
love
great. I had a pit bull for probably 15 years, man, and that
They're
was
great
like the
dogs.
best dog.
They're
She
great.
was best with the kids and everything, and just amazing.
How did you guys? I thought Diane's dogs were really cute.
Oh yeah,
Marley and Harley, and
Yeah, those
I
are
don't know
pits.
I don't know the Chihuahua's names, so
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I think they were pits for sure.
they were.
right? Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
and they look gorgeous. They look so nice.
Yeah.
I know a few pit bulls that are just there's some
Diane says in chat that her two girls, I think those are the Chihuahuas, are named Sugar and Sister.
There you go. She told me. I'm an old man. I forgot. In fact, my coffee.
I actually thought those were your Chihuahuas, and you were just making a joke, guy.
No,
Yeah,
no,
not
no,
a
Diane.
Chihuahua.
Oh, shit.
She sent him.
This
She
whole
sent him
time.
to me. No, she sent me the pics on Messenger, and I said, you're always asking about Charlie, and Charlie loves the camera. He's, quite the ham. So
He is.
we talk about such heavy stuff, and with Ed's passing, I think
Hi, Dad.
I needed something light. I needed some happy stuff. Is that
The whole
Dad?
fam's
Wow.
here.
Yeah, that's my dad. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
You're paying your whole family to watch now.
apparently.
Yep.
Hi, Diane. Sugar and Sister. Oh, that's their
There you
Chihuahua's
go.
name. Sugar and Sister.
So Diane, I hope you
Good
you
names.
liked Guy's little shout out for you and your pups, and got him working on a little project. Just keep sending Guy work to do. It keeps
Gave me
him
something to do.
active.
Keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah,
My
because
cup's
Guy
not even-
Guy will get in a lot of trouble.
My cup isn't even official anymore because since the last show, I'm 71.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Oh, happy. Yeah, happy.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm so pale and drawn,
All that heavy drinking and
coffee and
Still
party
rocking.
buses and stuff.
That's why you're
Still
wearing
rock.
T-shirts that talks about butt stuff.
yeah. I cracked up when I opened that up on Christmas morning. Get in, loser. We're doing butt stuff, and this guy's going up in the craft. She's a
Oh,
character.
man.
She lives and works in
Bruh.
LA. She's an esthetician. She does facials and lives out there and sees all the stars. And I told her she could just stay home. That I used to be a star, but nobody buys it.
At Michelle and Guy for your shirt, and Michelle for that last comment. This is for you.
Oh no.
Okay. Jesus.
Sorry, Bob.
You can see who
the,
just
the answer is, or the price is wrong.
Right.
The price is wrong.
found some noisy
What?
buttons over there.
Yeah. Well,
You were having way too much fun with those sound effects.
I can't help it. They're
wouldn't be able
perfect
to
at
either.
certain
Those are
times.
good.
I get it.
Even
Well,
when
that-
we're not live, he has that app going.
It's been a heavy week. I was really upset about Ed, and I'm
Yeah.
dead serious. I needed some love. I'm not kidding. I needed
Yeah.
some levity. I needed some pup pictures. I needed
it-
some happy stuff to.
Yeah.
He and I had talked a lot. We talked 2 days before he passed, and I said, "It's so weird." I said, "Would you be on the podcast?" Because Ed was he was a great, fun guy, but he was kind of always in the background, and I don't think he felt like he was. I don't know what the word is, qualified or something. And he said, sure. He said, I'll wear a tinfoil hat. And Ed was always clowning. And I was excited to I thought he was recovering. He'd had a heart problem. I thought
Yeah.
he was going to be fine. And 2 days later, he was gone. It stunned me, but I'll miss him.
And let's just get into this about Ed. Ed was one of our participants on episode 14 that we did, where we did a round table. It was myself, Michelle, Guy, Ed, and Alex. And we all talked about our triangular UFO experiences that all happened in March. And Ed was like a huge fan of the show from almost day one.
Yeah.
And man, he would send me messages all the time. He was constantly doing things with funny things that are so inappropriate I can't share on here. But some of the things he would do for like me for teacher of the year, and stuff like this, he'd make little fake like certificates and stuff. And that was the kind of guy, the kind of guy that Ed was. And
He was kind of, I think of Ed as he was kind of like me. He was kind of like 53 going on 14.
yeah, he was born the same year as me,
Lovely
man.
guy.
And it was like, wow, I hope I don't drop dead anytime soon. Because
Well, yeah,
Michelle will just continue on with the show. She'll take over.
nah, we don't want you to go. Don't want you to. You better not go anywhere.
I'm not going. Look, I'm not going anywhere unless I drop a dumbbell on my head. Because
Ed was enough, at least for the next 5 years. I'm due.
Yeah.
I'm up to. I should be up to bat next. But
nah, you're gonna be too busy, man. You got things going on. And speaking of that, everybody get to Guy's YouTube page and make sure you subscribe to that and tell him to start putting out some videos, because
I want to have you guys on there. That's what really, because
Yeah.
I've got quite a few subscribers. I don't know just why, because I haven't uploaded a video, save a very short thing where I just frankly bitched about getting kicked off of Facebook for 20 days or something. But I've not uploaded a video about the UFO stuff in in like 2 years, 3 years. But I've still got like 2,300 subscribers or something, and they hang with me. I'm not sure just why, but I should have us all on there, and that would be fun. So
yeah.
But
So
God bless all you folks in the chat for showing up, Diane and everybody else. And
yeah.
Thank you all.
Yeah, very much. And Hellfire says related to COVID. Now, he had some other health issues that I'm not going to put out there, but he had some health issues that he was dealing with. And
well, he was a welder, and he damaged his lungs, and he had some other things, and the combination. He used to be a heavy smoker, and he had
he was also a Gulf War veteran. He served in the Air Force, and
he had a high military or a high security clearance.
Yeah, around aircraft.
Yep.
A lot. He was in the Air Force. He was a pilot and things like that. So God only knows how much fumes he took in and all that stuff. And and this was, I think he was in the 91 initial invasion. So yeah.
And where?
Iraq.
That my uncle was in that as well. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, so that Ed was just a fun-loving guy and played around with technology and graphics and all this stuff, and it was just some of the funniest stuff he would do, and he would make these pictures that would be like Guy's head on like some
wearing a pink dress,
singing
"Put Your Head On,"
and
it would be the actual recording from the 50s, and I used some software, and my head would move, and it looked like me singing, "Put your head on my shoulder."
it was
absolutely ridiculous.
And I mean, during the holidays, right? During the holidays, you can do, what is it, Jib Jab or something like that, and you can take your picture and put them on dancing elves. And they'll dance around and stuff. He was good at making.
Man, he was one day he messaged me. I mean, like I said, he's like 14 going on. I mean, he's like 53 going on 14. And he was trying to use something called he knows I use Linux, which is an alternative operating system and kind of techie a little bit. And he was trying to use something called Kali Linux to hack the neighbor's Wi-Fi. For what? I said, I don't know. I just want to see if I can do it.
Yeah, Tabin says it. Elf yourself. Yeah. Yep.
He was a hoot, man. He was so funny. And I looked at our messages because we talked at length on the 6th and he died on the 8th. And one thing, he did just write one thing at one point. He said, I'm just tired.
Yeah.
And, and he told me that his blood, he'd been in the hospital and gotten out. And he said, yeah, I had to go back for a couple of days because my blood oxygen level went down to 30 and 40. And I was like, I didn't think you could even be alive, But I still thought just the way he talked and everything, I thought he was, I thought he was mending up. So it hit me pretty hard, man.
The last time I talked to him, he was just about to get out of the hospital. So that was like his first run in and dealing with his issues. And
well, my life and his were intertwined. We've been over this in about 5 podcasts. I'll make it real short. The odd thing about Ed and I was I did a podcast about seeing a triangle on March 18th of 94. Ed heard the podcast. Ed saw a triangle in March of 94, but he couldn't remember the date. He wasn't sure if it was the same date. He'd seen it at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd seen it at 5, but he couldn't remember the date. So we decided to do a podcast with him and like a round table with 5 of us that had seen triangles. And the night before we did the podcast, he messages me and says, Guy, I remember the date. I remember the date. It was the same date as you. It was Friday, March 18th. And I said, well, what triggered you to be able to remember? And he says, man, he said, it was St. Patty's Day. And he said, he lived out in Imlay City. It's about 35 miles east of Flint, 35-40.
Yep.
And he said, it was St. Patty's Day. And I went up to the Night Owl bar to have a beer. And they had a band playing. And he said, the band said they were taking requests. So I walked up to the band and said, hey, can you play Wipeout? And he said, some smart ass said, we don't know the words because Wipeout's a drum solo, right? He said, it really jabbed my ass. And he kind of chuckled about it. And I said, Ed, I've been to Imlay City one time in my life. And it was to play at the Night Owl bar. And that band was me and Debbie Lee and the Cruisers. So we were in this bar the same night. What triggered his memory was interacting with that band. And I mean, what are the odds of that? I mean, 27 years later, we find each other. And an hour or so before we both, I think, saw the same object, we were not only in the same bar in Imlay City, where I've never been. Well, we played out there 3 nights that weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but that was it. But we were in the same bar, but he interacted with our band. It could have been me. I don't know. But it was one of those absolutely, totally batshit crazy synchronicities that my jaw hit the floor. I said, dude, that band was me. And that's how but anyway, so me and Ed were pretty tight. And he always reached out to me and made those funny videos with me singing. And anytime we'd do a video, like when we'd get together, he'd always message me and tease me that I was a star and this and that. And he watched them all. Yeah, he would always say that. He'd say, you're a sensation or some crazy bullshit,
Yeah, he was a character. So Ed, we're gonna miss you,
buddy.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. We're gonna
in
miss
power.
you. Yep. You are gone for now, but not forgotten.
Never forgotten.
So
never forgotten, because this podcast and the podcast that he was on will live on forever.
Yep.
So his voice will live on forever.
Yep.
That's the beauty of the podcast.
I only went over and saw him once in Port Huron because we live in Lapeer. And I wish I'd have gone
Port Huron
over.
is not too far.
It's not bad. I wish it was, 50 miles or something.
Yeah, it's less than an hour. Yeah.
But I wish I'd have gone over again when he was sick. I just thought he's going to be okay, like a dummy, so.
That's not. Wait, I just found out.
I got to talk about this Hellfire.
What is that? What is Hellfire? I just found out.
Hellfire says
that has cut my hair for 6 now. For 6 years now is into UFO and you have the same hairstylist. Okay. All right. Or hair cutter or whatever. I don't know what to call it.
So basically what Hellfire's saying is he just found out 6 years that this woman's been cutting his hair, and just all of a sudden is into UFOs and our kind of stuff. Well, here's a funny
Well, tell her to
story.
tune into the show.
Yeah. Here's a funny story for you guys. So, I push myself physically that at my ages and with a artificial hip, it's probably not a good idea. But anyways, I hurt my lower back and it's been bothering me for a couple weeks, like pretty bad. And so Michelle starts seeing this chiropractor in Canton. And
Dr.
so
Larry.
anyways,
Oh, that was a look.
anyways, I didn't want to drop any names or anything, but
Yeah, it was a quick commercial for him, Dr. Larry.
Dr. Larry again.
he's telling me while he's starting to adjust my back, he's like, "What are you doing this weekend?" I said, "Well, we got a live show we're doing tonight because I just went and saw him for the second time today." He's a fantastic chiropractor. I mean, he's
Okay.
got me fixed up and he knows exactly what's going on.
You're feeling better?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good.
I'm feeling human and I
That's
can put on my left sock without, shedding a tear.
Wow.
But
Good.
he starts telling me, he's like, "Oh, you would love this office." And I'm like, "Oh, what? You got people that listen and stuff?" He's like, "This place is so haunted."
Wow.
He goes, "I've been," and I'm gonna put these stories down really quickly. He was alone in the office one night, and the first time that anything happened, it got really cold. He had his headphones on, and something touched him in the back of the head and the back of his hair. And there was nobody else there. It got really cold, and he heard something like go in his ear.
Oh man.
Then he saw, so they had a business secretary that works with billing and all that stuff. And she had came to work one day and she had her hair dyed gray. And so he comes out of his office as they're getting ready to close things up. And to go to her office from the front of the office is only one way. There's no way somebody can get past you. And he looks over and he sees, the secretary with the gray hair sitting at the desk looking like she's doing something. So he turns and walks toward his business partner back in this office and sees the one girl that dyed her hair. And, and his business partner standing there. He's like, "How the hell did you beat me back here? There's only one way here." And she goes, "I've been back here for the last half hour." He turns and looks and the woman's gone. It was an old lady.
Wow.
We found out there was an old lady that owned that property that died there.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So they have a thing now at that office, and there's been so many other things that have happened. I don't want to get all into it, but they have a rule at that office where he says nobody gets left alone in the office. And once, one person, if there's only going to be one person left, you guys close up and leave together. It's that crazy there.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's
So, yeah.
wild, man.
Yeah. So he said he's going to start listening to the show. So he might even be here now. But yeah, that's crazy, man.
If he is, or if he listens to this in the future, please put up a lot of cameras in your office and see if you can catch anything like.
Well, I told him I wasn't an investigator for paranormal stuff. I'm interested in it, but I said,
But
I
we
know
like
this
the
guy,
stories.
right down here. Where is he?
Yeah.
Right there.
guy right here. Yeah.
And I told him about your Fort Wayne story when you were at historic Fort Wayne.
Yep.
So
I've been to Fort Wayne, the USS Edson, which is docked in Bay City, Michigan. I've also been to the Randolph County Infirmary in Indiana, as well as the Stimson Hospital in Eaton Rapids, Michigan. And actually, the episode that I just came out with about on Follow the Reaper is of I do a thing in the beginning, tipping my hat to Linda Godfrey and the Dog Man and Beast of Bray Road and all that, because she passed away last November, and this is my first episode coming out since November. And but the two stories that I tell are from Randolph County Infirmary and the Stimson Hospital in Eaton Rapids, Michigan. So yeah, like the in for any of that, like that's yeah, totally.
Well, I told him, you might reach out to him to maybe set something up to go in there and investigate.
Sure.
I'm sure he'd probably
Oh,
let you do it,
totally.
So it could be really cool, especially if you could catch like a full-bodied apparition.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've never
yeah.
seen anything like that firsthand. I've seen it on camera.
Yeah.
And I've seen camera footage that I 100% believe that is authentic, not faked or anything like that.
Did
But
I share that video with you that a buddy of mine, his camera caught this, looked like a pregnant woman with no legs walking through? It's insane.
I don't.
And-
Okay,
and
well, we're gonna have to do that one next time, I think.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
You know,
Tonight's
man,
about something a little different.
Yeah.
I'm 71 and
Well-
I get off on tangents. I may start talking about model airplanes or something.
No, please send that footage to us.
Oh man, it's the freakiest. I've got a buddy in a group on Facebook who's huge. He said, I've never seen this high quality of a ghost.
All right.
It will freak you out.
Well,
And
speaking
I've
of
known this guy-
videos,
I've known the guy for 60 years. Anyway, go ahead.
speaking of videos and high quality footage, I've got a UFO video I'm going to show people that you guys are going to get blown away by.
Is
And
it something we haven't seen?
yes,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
like one of those reaction videos
this
we're watching to see
is-
how you guys react.
I'm not going to mention who it's from or anything
Reaction
like
video.
that,
That's so
Um,
silly.
but they
You
put
know-
it out. They put
you
it
know,
out
it's-
on a public server out there on Discord, and I know this guy's legit. I know the podcast he works with a lot, and he's an amazing UFO historian, and he just so happened to catch something when him and his wife were driving to Las Vegas. So
You mean so
Okay.
you know the guy who filmed it yourself?
I know him. Yes.
Okay.
And so driving to Las Vegas. So does this
Yes.
mean it was? Do we have a location? Is all I'm wondering. Is it Nevada?
He's got the location and stuff. I would have to like go back and listen to him talking about his event on a podcast. And this was just a couple days ago when he did this. He's still in Vegas right now. But I don't want to give too much away until, and it's gonna blow your mind. So before we even get into that, guy, I got your man.
Oh my gosh, you got Preston?
Yes.
Oh
Preston
my
Denton.
God.
Yes.
Preston Denton is the coolest. He's one of the best researchers, and he's absolutely the nicest guy. There is nobody nicer and kinder, and he's I think of him often because there's so much infighting and there's a lot of nasty stuff in this UFO stuff, but Preston, he just never sinks to that. And he's a terrific, I think he's written like 20 books or something, and he's just the most wonderful person and so such a wealth of knowledge. I'm so excited. So you got Preston Dennett to come on.
Yes.
Yep.
So Preston Dennett will be on the audio podcast, and that will release this weekend. So if you're here listening to this right now or watching it, we'll be interviewing him during this week and then putting the show together, and this will be released out on our audio podcast for this coming weekend. So very excited to have him come on.
Cool.
Should be really cool, and maybe we can get him to come on here and share some stories with our
that would
following
be
live
so
show.
much fun.
Yeah.
I've talked to him via email for years, and he always, who does this? The guy's so busy. He's writing books. He's got his own, he does a ton of YouTube videos now.
Yeah.
And if I send him an email, he gets back with me in like within an hour we've talked, sent long emails.
Oh, I name dropped you, bro. I name dropped you.
Yeah. Well, we're in a group together. I've talked to Preston a lot, and just a wonderful man. I mean, He
Well,
really, really is. Good
you know
heart.
what was interesting was I gave him a synopsis of Michelle in
Yeah.
our little experience, and he
Right.
said, "Wow, that sounds really interesting,
Did he?
and probably will want to talk about it." So it's
Mhm.
going to be one of those kind of nights. But anyways,
I'm excited.
Diane, yeah, I'm super excited. But Diane, I know you want to see this video. You
Yeah.
will. You're just gonna have to wait because we're gonna talk about popping some balloons here. So
Oh, we have to
let's
talk about stuff first, damn it. I was hoping to see the video too.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, man. You get me all. My blood
You
pressure's
teased it.
200
That
over
was a good
170.
well,
tease.
here's the thing. I want to talk about the pop and balloon stuff, and we can get the ridiculousness of this whole situation because everybody on every show has been talking about this, and I almost didn't want to do it. But there's some things that I want to point out, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, all right. I'm going to save that UFO video. Okay. I gotta save it. So hold tight. I know, Diane, you just hold on. So let's talk about this real quick. So everybody knows that Chinese spy balloons, this, that, and the other have been kind of the talk for the last week or so about what's going on. So what I did was I was going to make a PowerPoint, but I'm too lazy for that today. So what I did is I found somebody that already did kind of a timeline. And I checked all the dates and they're accurate. I found other people that have done timelines and they're not. So let's go through this real quick. So on January 28th, Chinese spy flight first enters U.S. Air Force or airspace in the Aleutian Islands. So this is where that one, balloon with the weird looking, probably what they call SIGINT, SIGINT, which stands for Signal Intelligence. They will fly these balloons over and they will listen in on communications. They will hack Wi-Fi. They will drop viruses from them. They'll upload things into satellites and send information back and use LiDAR to get very accurate maps of places. And they, the military all knows this stuff. All right. So this is no surprise. And I'll get into why they know this stuff and why we should have had a very strong like response to it. But anyways, so that was January 28th. Then February 1st, we had the first reporting of civilian sightings of the flight over Montana. So Montana's interesting because where it went was Maelstrom Air Force Base, where they are a launch center for nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles. All right. Then on February 4th, we have the Chinese spy flight is shot down near South Carolina by an F-22. Everybody has seen that video.
Yep.
And that's the only video that people have seen. And not only that, that's the only time we've ever seen any of this wreckage that has been recovered. Okay. Now, I have seen stuff get sent to me and pictures and things of supposedly F-22 shooting things down out of the sky, UFOs and all of this stuff. They're all bogus. Nobody was up in Alaska, as we're going to talk about here. Nobody was on the ground to see any of this stuff or any wreckage. So that's part of my problem. So we're going to continue here. February 9th, U.S. detects a new second unidentified object. That detection right there that they're talking about, that was over Montana again, but then it disappeared off of the radar. They lost that. They didn't know where it went, what happened to it. Then on the next day, they claim that the U.S. shoots down unidentified object over Alaska, very, very northern Alaska. And they're not able to recover anything from it because of the remote weather and the conditions and everything else. but they say they shot it down. Now I know they scrambled fighters and things like that, but all right. So perhaps, and by the way, they said that this thing was about the size of a car and it looked like a Tic Tac. Haven't seen any video from the pilot shooting it down. Nothing. Okay, which makes me wonder what the hell. What are you guys talking about shooting down something? You describe it as the Tic Tac, the size of a car, but it was only going a couple 100 miles an hour, and Fravor couldn't even catch these things, or the flight that went up after him. So my spidey sense is tingling with BS. Right, my BS detector is going off on this. February 10th, NORAD detects a third object and tracks it as it enters Canadian airspace. Okay. Guess who then picks up the phone and calls? The great Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, and asks Biden to shoot it down. I don't know why they couldn't do it, but apparently they couldn't do it, which is really fishy to me because they have a good Air Force. We've trained them all and we sold them a lot of our equipment. February 11th, U.S. shoots down the unidentified object over Canada in the Yukon. No video of that shoot down. No legit video anyways, and nothing released from the cockpit cameras or anything like that. February 11th, a radar anomaly causes the U.S. military to scramble fighter jets in Montana. I think that was the one that they popped up and disappeared. Another one. And then February 12th, Super Bowl Sunday. U.S. shoots down unidentified object over Lake Huron. Again, no video. Supposedly there's going to be some kind of crash retrieval. But if you listen to the audio in the cockpit, the guys can't see it because it's so small. They can pick it up on radar. It's doing about 40 miles an hour floating through the air. And that's all we're told. And then everything kind of gets quiet. Now, before I continue on this stuff, what do you guys think? What was your initial reactions to this? Because I'm sitting there thinking, you're not shooting down no UFOs.
Go back to the beginning real quick, like some of the first ones. There was something in there that I did want to say something about. Well, see, but here's yeah, there. Oh yeah, that's what it was. There were multiple. There were like, I think, like 5 or 4 or 5, something like that, balloons, and the one that we're talking about here is the only one that really got reported on. There were multiple supposed Chinese spy balloons. Yeah, hey, look over here. That got shot down all over the country. It wasn't just off the coast of North Carolina. That's just the one that we're talking about. But here's my thing. I don't like it. I don't like it being a Chinese spy balloon. Like I don't buy that. I don't totally buy that, because why? Why the hell would they need that? Because it's they already have satellites orbiting Earth that are spying on us. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but if like Wayne and Michelle, you are both teachers in a school, right?
I hope so.
I think that's what they call it.
and I'm pretty sure every single day students come into your class with cell phones, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
And a lot of them probably have TikTok, right?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
It's almost impossible to stop them from using it.
TikTok is that's a Chinese app that's where it's from. That's all I'm saying. Is just that's where it's from. And if if you're in your classroom, or if I'm in my home, And I don't have TikTok. Like there is no TikTok in this house at all. But if someone enters my home and they have the TikTok app on their phone, that app can immediately start stealing all the information from my phone. That is part of the user agreement. It just it steals everything on any network that it's on.
Wow.
So why the hell do you need a balloon? You know what I'm saying?
I just got a question, and I have not followed this real close because I thought it was all bullshit pretty much. But I thought in the first instance, the one that was supposedly a Chinese spy balloon, didn't China raise some hell about us shooting it down, or am I misinformed? And I mean, I really don't know. I thought they objected.
They said it was a weather balloon.
They did at first. They said it was a weather balloon.
Yeah.
They're like, we're just monitoring the weather over North Carolina for no reason at all.
We want to see if it's nice to travel to Myrtle Beach right now.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't make
Just
any
checking.
sense.
Yeah.
We're looking for new farmland to buy up is what we're doing.
Right.
But my point is that it being a Chinese spy balloon also doesn't make any sense, because they have way better technology that's already been enacted. Every kid in America
I heard some
Like-
engineer explain. I mean, it might have, who knows what to believe. We're in this house of mirrors, nowadays. But I heard some engineer explaining that aeronautical engineers, one of these, some authority figure, God knows who the hell he really is, but he was saying that, and this is counterintuitive, made no sense to me. He said, he explained, and I wish I could repeat what recall exactly what he said, that there were things you could do with a balloon. What the hell it would be, I don't know, because they can read a friggin' license plate from space. They can do face recognition from space with these satellites. But he said supposedly there was some kind of shit you could do with a balloon that you couldn't do with a satellite, and he explained it. Now, was it horse manure? Maybe, I don't know.
I mean,
well, they're hard to track. They are hard to track with radar.
they're hard to track because they fly so low, right?
No, they fly so high and they don't have a lot of reflective
too high.
surfaces
It
on
was
them.
like 60,000 foot,
Right?
which, is
Whoa,
above,
really?
That's above, like a commercial jet.
Yeah, no,
Goes
commercial jet's
maybe
like 30,
41,000 feet or something.
30 to 40. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why they shot down the one over Alaska, because
Supposedly.
that's the reason they're giving, is that
Right.
it was in commercial jet airspace.
And we don't know if that was a balloon. They said it was an object the size of a car.
I don't. It was not. I don't think for a second it was a balloon.
I don't think it was a balloon,
that
and
was
I
a balloon.
don't think it was a UFO. Because if it
neither.
was, it would be all over the place. Like,
Man,
they'd
that
be all
wasn't-
into it.
But
I'm
let's
not
be-
buying it was a UFO either.
But well, let's be clear. What do you mean? What do we mean by UFO? It
Like
is an
alien
unidentified
technology.
It is not alien. I do not think it's alien at all. But it is an unidentified flying object
Yes.
at the moment. It is. I do not think for a moment that any of these objects shot down are alien, though. No.
No, I've got a video. I don't know if you guys want to. It's like 2 minutes long. Stephen Greer takes an awful lot of heat from people in the UFO community. He's done some good things. He's done some bad things. I don't agree with him on everything. But I watched a video today and he broke it down so well that if you wanted to see it, I've got a snippet of it that I thought we could even talk about. It was really good. I loved his analysis. And I think he's done some good work. A lot of people hate the guy. Charges way too much for his CE5 things.
Yeah.
But like he said, I walked away from a $400,000 a year job and 12 years of college being an ER doctor to do this. I admit I charge for it, So that's another thing.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I've got a video that's pretty
Before we
interesting.
do that, before
I
we
don't know if you
jump
even
into
want
that-
to, but I've got that if you want to see it.
Well, maybe we can get into that after the break. I do want to take a break in about 15 minutes. But let's go through some other stuff, because I had some other things kind of with this, weird things happen. And one of them was somebody that I know who used to work for the railways. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
And they were a inspector for 3 years of dealing with railroad tracks, literally going through Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and inspecting things. So I thought it was really weird that the media was jumping all over this stuff. And the guy that was telling me about his previous job with the railways asked me, he said, "Do you think this is legit or do you think this is something else?" And I said, "I think it's something else." So let's take a look at this. So I made a quick file. I went very old school with this. I mean, I'm talking I brought up Notepad. All right.
Wow.
So
I
to
still
put
use
these notes
Notepad.
down. Okay. So during the week of this UFO flap that was going on and the shoot downs, let's look at what happened. And we can go back and forth with the dates here. Okay. But oh, Michelle's back.
Yep, I'm back.
There we go.
Michelle.
Hey.
All right. So Palestine, Ohio. This one's gotten a lot of attention, but not as much as it should. That was February 3rd.
It's starting to, but yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to because, well, people are getting very sick, and
Yeah.
the mushroom cloud that they made when they lit this stuff
Man.
and put it into the air.
And FEMA hasn't responded yet. Like they
Nope.
evacuated people and they had nowhere to go. They had no help. Like
It's crazy.
Well,
It's criminal.
there's a possible reason for that, and it
Oh,
gets into the
okay.
political thing about the demographic of people there and all of that. But if people want to research that, they can go down that rabbit hole. I'm not going to do that.
They are notoriously bad. Like they didn't show up for a while after even Katrina. So
Yeah.
like
Oh,
they're
yeah.
notoriously bad in general.
If you wait
Yeah,
for the
no.
federal government to help you,
Burton, that's a very good point to diffuse where I think we're going with that whole thing.
All right. So February 3rd, vinyl chloride was released into the air from 5 cars. Crews ignited it to get rid of the that's supposed to be flammable chemicals in a controlled way. And we've all seen the pictures of what looks like a damn mushroom cloud over that city.
Yep.
And the damage that they've done to the environment there is crazy. Then we've got February 13th, which this happened in Texas, where we had a train crash into an 18-wheeler. The driver was killed, and that train was also derailed during that. Not really sure on the contents of it. I couldn't find anything because I think they're controlling the algorithm on this a little bit. Then on the 14th, and by the way, even though you're thinking, well, the U.S. shot down that object over Lake Huron on February 12th. Yeah, but look at how long they've been talking about it. And when they shot it down on the 12th, they've been talking about it still to this day. So that's like taking the priority because that's the sensationalist stuff. But in Tucson, we had the tanker truck hauler. He apparently had a heart condition. He rolled the truck, and that thing was hauling nitric acid, and that's highly toxic and volatile, and that blew up, putting all that stuff. That was in Tucson, Arizona. And then just here in Michigan on the 16th, we were told there was no hazardous material, and that this is just right up the road from us. February 16th, a train was derailed. Now, how much attention has this gotten? Not a lot.
Not enough. And
not enough.
It's
all UFO stuff,
right?
Which is garbage.
Right. Like it does seem there does seem to be a timeline between like the train derailments not getting the coverage they deserve, the weird things being shot down getting too much coverage, which we have all talked about even privately.
Yeah.
And then on top of all of that, the most recent train derailment, Michigan, the most recent thing shot down over Lake Huron, Michigan. And then we have a mass shooting at Michigan State University this week. And that was fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah.
still makes no sense. Like, none of it makes a damn bit of sense. And
What's
all of it just feels weird.
Well, I mean, Stephen Greer kind of, well, he doesn't talk about these derailments. He talks about the UFO stuff, but saying it's a diversion. But I mean, what? And you're not going to make me mad, or
More.
what? You might make a listener mad. What's? I mean, what are you suggesting about in Palestine, Ohio? You can look up the demographic. They're trying to kill Republicans. Let's just cut any filters off here. That's not what I was going to say. But what are you saying? They're trying to get rid of people in Palestine, Ohio, or
no. What? I mean, if we're gonna talk conspiracies and stuff like that,
well, go ahead. That's what we do.
Yeah, it is kind of what we do. What I've seen is that it's about if you look at the recent train derailments, a lot of them line up with national basins, and they're along waterways. So it kind of like what I've seen people say is that they're trying to poison some of the water supply.
Oh, well, that's positive.
Yeah, because here's the thing, and I don't know how true this is because I haven't had a lot of time to dig into everything because, of course, this is a huge rabbit hole. But apparently there is laws on the books that if the government can take your land and you have nothing you can say about it if it is considered a poisoned area.
There's more than that on the books to where the government can just come take your land if they want to build a highway. Like, they can do that.
They take whatever they want, man.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. So there is that. Let me see here.
I just don't like how it really, really upsets me how they evacuated everyone from that area and then provided them with nothing. Like you if you're going to evacuate people, you need to at least give them somewhere to go.
No, man, I lost it when I watched the the people crying in that Ohio town because one guy said, "Hey, my neighbor," he was holding his baby, and he said, "I'm afraid to stay here. They told me to stay, but my neighbor across the street literally yesterday was diagnosed with, I'd never heard of it, chemical pneumonia." I mean, and these people don't know what to do, and they're not getting any help. And I'm like,
correct.
What kind of government? I don't want to get off on.
I mean, you're not.
Shit.
This is
fuck it. What kind of government we got?
Yeah, you're not going off. Like
we can invade Iraq and kill 1 million people and spend trillions, but we can't go help these people like now.
Correct.
No,
it's a piss.
Yep.
That makes me angry.
It does.
No,
it absolutely does.
So there is a slight other side to that though. Like Wayne, you were in the military, you know how important it is for us to have a strong military. And so there and it's like one in the government, whether it's bullshit or not, once funds are allocated to something, that's what they're allocated to, and there's they like those are the rules, you know what I mean? Like, should more be allocated towards here and helping especially these people right now? Yes, absolutely. But
state of emergency equals I do what I want. Exactly.
Yep.
It does kind of seem
it's
like that.
Carte blanche for the government to come in and do whatever sorry, we're taking your land, you get out of here, whatever,
Burton, to your point. All right, so being in the military and things like that, one of the things that I do know, that if you want to hurt a location or an enemy, et cetera, okay, first thing you want to do is attack their supply chains.
Yep.
Okay. The rail system has been decimated over the last 3 years with COVID, layoffs, lack of workers, no inspectors inspecting this stuff. And they went and said they were going to strike, and they were not allowed to because of all these safety concerns. And they were not allowed to strike. And my point is that this would be a very, very easy time for little cells to go ahead and start sabotaging things.
Oh yeah.
And
That's
it's
a good
very
point.
easy to do. And that's, you want to attack that infrastructure. And it also provides a cover with all of these balloons / UFOs.
That this is literally a conversation I had earlier today with my roommate Josh. He was the first time because this whole time, like, I was like, okay, if there's a conspiracy with all these train derailments, it's probably the United States. He was the first one to suggest to me that it might be something outside. And on top of that, and oh shit, this makes sense. They're dropping unidentified flying objects out of the sky. That's on the news. So they won't put on the news that we're actually being attacked by another country technically right now.
No, that's interesting. That's possible. I've been saying for years. I've been saying for 20 years because there's mutually assured destruction with nuclear weapons.
Yes.
Correct.
That just forget about that. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That ain't going to happen. Okay, it's not going to happen. That's an illusion. None of these countries, they all know they can't do that. So what can they do? They can do bullshit like this. Another thing they can do is fund a lot of weird political stuff so that we're all fighting all the time. So that we're all, this is something I've thought about, this political climate in America the last 10 years or so, is that this is a great way to just tear us apart, to divide us up into camps, along with, I mean, now this is a different thing, but it's along the same lines. I mean, I don't think it's wild conspiracy at all to suggest that if you wanted to take us down, you've got to do it. A hot war with like nuclear weapons, you can't do it. Nobody, what they can do is shit like disrupt the supply chain, maybe even COVID, although that's a far out thing because it affected China too. Yeah. But I mean, who knows what lengths they would go to? But I've been worried about stuff like this for a long time because I know that they're not going to use nukes. I know that's mythology. Right. They're not going to do it.
And think about this. You could have all kinds of biological and chemical payloads in those things that if they do explode or are shot down or whatever, release that stuff into the air on the way down. It might take a couple days for it to make it. And, depending on which way the winds blow. But the next thing you know, you have, what was it? Back in the day, weaponized anthrax. You could have weaponized COVID. I mean, it could just be starting like that. I mean, we don't know. And I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I mean, the idea of distracting, doing the magician's trick of look at this hand,
right?
Something else is going on. And
that's not a wild
UAPs, right?
I thought you were going to propose something that I would find repellent and just too crazy, but no. That's entirely possible.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know.
But here's what I think is where if that is let's say that's what's happening, just to play devil's advocate for a minute.
Right.
Let's say that is exactly what's happening. Where they're failing, where they don't realize what's going on yet, is social media. Because I have a ton of friends that live in Ohio, and I'm seeing meme after meme after meme about that situation. So the news can report on it or not. People are reporting on it. The people that are there are reporting on it. So
and this is why they don't like the media, like what we're doing, like on the ground reporting stuff and talking about things. And this is why they have a hard time with people on YouTube and things. And you better agree to their terms of service, or
Don't say the
eh,
wrong thing, man.
Guy, how many time have you been in Facebook jail?
I actually lost weight eating the food there. It's terrible. It's
for the record, I've never
lost,
been in
I
any
lost
jail.
16 pounds in Facebook jail. I've been so many times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I've-
hilarious.
Now,
man.
and I went to Facebook jail for the craziest shit. I mean, just absurd
believe
stuff.
This is kind of what that's kind of what bothers me, because I will go back, because you got to keep in mind, I was on Facebook when it first started. Like, I was on MySpace, and then I moved to Facebook like immediately.
I had a MySpace.
My dad works at the university, Michigan State University.
Wow.
Initially, Gmail and Facebook started as university things.
Yeah.
They were only allowed, like, only people that were in the university were allowed to be on that stuff initially.
All right.
And I got on it right away. And I look back, like, because, we all have Facebook memories, right? We all have that. I look back at some of this shit I posted like 10, 15 years ago. I'm like, oh, I would have gotten canceled for that. Like,
oh yeah.
They'll come for you eventually.
In fairness, I was a child, but like, like nobody knew what was going on. But I was like, oh God, that's real bad. I shouldn't have said that.
All right. So before we go to break, I want to leave everybody with this, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss this a little further. And then we're going to look at amazing UFO video. I'll leave it to the rest of you guys. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure, to the end of the show. But
first you're gonna scare me with balloon bombs.
Well, here's the deal. This is what I was saying earlier about, we have a very strict airspace set of rules. Okay. And this is why. Because during World War II, the Japanese would love sending balloon bombs that had an anti-personnel bomb on them, and also a couple incendiary bombs, so that they would start fires when they dropped off the balloons. Now, most people don't even know this. And what's interesting is, I'll show you here in a minute, but between 1944 and 45, by the way, 6 people were actually killed by Japanese balloon bombs. All right. And it was 5 children.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah. So between 1944 and 45, Japan launched more than 9,000 balloon bombs, experimental weapons intended to kill and cause fires. The balloons carrying an anti-personnel bomb and 2 incendiary bombs took about 70 hours to cross the Pacific Ocean. 361 of those have been found in 26 states, Canada, and Mexico.
Wow. That's wild.
All right. They were 70 feet tall with a 33-foot diameter paper canopy connected to the main device by shroud lines. Balloons inflated with hydrogen followed the jet stream to an altitude of 30,000 feet. Now, remember, in the late 40s, there wasn't a lot of high flying going on. Like, that was pushing, 30,000, 40,000 feet, because we had basically propeller craft, no real jets. The high explosive anti-personnel and incendiary devices were rigged to self-destruct and leave no evidence. The Japanese hoped the bombs would start forest fires and create panic, according to documents found after the war.
Wow.
There's your one tactic right there.
Clever little buggers, aren't they?
Yeah. Well,
and when was this again? When was this again?
This was between 1944 and 1945.
Yeah. Okay.
And World War II ended in 1945.
And can we hang on? Let me. When did Roswell happen?
47.
Okay. Don't even.
July.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I don't even need to look it up. And that is what, and one of the first times I was ever on your podcast, Wayne, I tried to remember an author. Her name is Annie Jacobson. And she put out a book where she put out a book where she literally like if you go through the Freedom of Information Act, if you just go to them and be like, give me all your information on Roswell and Area 51, they're not going to give it to you. You
Correct.
need specific file numbers. You need to
Yes.
figure out specific files to ask for. She figured them out, all of them on Roswell, and released a book saying that Roswell crash was I believe she said that it was a Russian spy plane that got shot down, and they let the people run with the UFO thing because, considering the political climate at the time, it was better for the American public to believe that it was UFO than in a Russian spy plane that infiltrated our airspace that far without being detected. So
what Barry says, I'm telling you, that's a big thing.
Oh, yes.
That's a big thing going on right now in this country, and it's working. It's working.
Divide is the main thing.
It's the main thing.
That's the social media aspect of it. But here, check
Yeah.
this out.
This is interesting, though, man.
Most people probably don't even realize this, but check this out. The first bomb was spotted southwest of San Pedro, California on November 4th, 1944. On January 4th, 1945, two men working near Medford, Oregon, heard a blast, saw flames, and found a 12-inch deep hole in the ground where the bomb had exploded. Now, look at this. Did you guys even know that this existed? The U.S. Office of Censorship asked the news media not to publish
What is that
reports.
office that I've never heard of? You know?
Asked the news media not to publish reports for fear it might cause a panic. Dun, dun, dun.
Not that there's not already enough, but right there's precedent for I mean, but what are they, what is that, to Annie Jacobson, for example's point, what is that precedent? Are they hiding aliens, or are they hiding people infiltrating our airspace that shouldn't be? You know what I mean? Like,
we're in an age of disinformation, man. There's no way to find this out, honestly. Right? Disinformation and misinformation.
I mean,
it's very easy to do.
But also when you're a science teacher, Guy, I feel like you are, like, you never were interested in this stuff until you had your experience. I feel like we're all very logic centric, science centric. Occam's razor says that it's most likely them covering up stuff from other countries, not from other planets.
It's not from other planets, man.
To me, that's what it says to me. Yeah, that's yeah.
It's something else. I think it's something else. But anyways, so check this out. So that was on November 4th or January 4th, 1945, when the two men heard that explosion and saw the flames. Then on May 5th, 1945, Bly minister Archie Mitchell, his pregnant wife Elsie, and 5 children from Mitchell's Sunday school class were on a Saturday morning picnic 13 miles northeast of Bly, or about 60 miles northeast of Kalma Falls. I think that's Kalma. Mitchell parked the car, and Elsie and the children headed to Leonard Creek. Mitchell later remembered, as I got out of the car to bring the lunch, the others were not far away and called to me that they had found something that looked like a balloon. I heard of Japanese, so he says he heard of Japanese balloons, so I shouted a warning not to touch it. But just then there was a big explosion. I ran up there and they were all dead. And here's the people that died right here. So it left created a foot deep, 3 foot wide hole. Bomb fragments were found 400 feet from the explosion site. 6 people died. Elsa Mitchell, 26. Dick Patsky, 14. Jay Gifford, 13. Edward Ingen, 13. Joan Patsky, 13. And Sherman Shoemaker, 11 years old.
Children. They were all children.
All, yeah, from a Sunday school class. So it was basically at that point where we created very strict rules of getting in our airspace. And balloons, because of that, we learned a valuable lesson. And because of that, we shouldn't let balloons fly around and we should intercept them as soon as possible. And that's always been the case for that. So the fact that it made it all the way to North Carolina as well, and they are hard to detect. I'm not airplanes are hard to detect on radar.
When was that balloon bombing that you were just talking about?
44 and 45.
Yeah, 44 and 45. Yeah.
I don't know the exact date, but
yep.
Towards the end of World War II.
The exact day was May 5th, 1945, when the children and his pregnant wife were killed. So yeah.
Well, it's definitely food for thought. I mean, because there is a precedent, as Burton said, for them using balloons to do wacky, destructive shit. So I mean,
yep.
And what the payload now would be exponentially more dangerous, I'm sure, than a little bomb, a bomb that explodes and kills some Sunday school kids. It could be any kind of some kind of chemical thing or whatever. So
yep, 100%. So all of this stuff, you got to take all of this into account. The train derailments, the shooting at MSU. I think you got to look at all of this stuff and then see what are they really talking about on the media. And it's been nothing but the excitement of shooting things down out of the sky.
Yeah. It's really freaking weird that everything over the last few weeks has seemed to let up to Michigan too. Train derailment, Michigan, something shot down over Lake Huron, shooting at MSU, literally less than a fucking mile from my house. Yep. Like, that's my school. Like, I grew up on that campus. Like, the shooter, like where they caught the shooter, he literally had to have ran through my neighborhood. Like, it's way closer to home than it's ever been before. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's right. My sister was on campus during that time. So
no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, okay, with that being said, I have a bladder like a teenage girl. So I think it's time to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to leave that information for everybody to think about.
What, your bladder like that of a teenage girl?
No. Well, a bladder is like a balloon.
I like to say hamster bladder. So
yeah. All right. So
hamster bladder.
All right. So Guy, I'm going to put you in the green room. Burton, to the green room for 5 minutes. You're in timeout. All right, Michelle. I think we're going to take our break. I need it.
Okay.
Let's go. All right, everybody. We'll be right back. There is 4 minutes left to this break. 3 minutes left, everybody. Just 3 minutes. Two minutes left, everybody. Get ready. 2 minutes. All right. We are back, and man, we left the show with a cliffhanger. So I don't know. Guy had made some points here, and Guy, we're getting a request. When do we get to see Charlie and Angel? So I'm gonna bring you back on. So we got Guy Merritt joins us again, and we have Burton, and Michelle is making coffee, and she'll be joining us shortly.
I had to chase him down. He's out in the kitchen foraging.
is.
He was out licking the floor going, I know there's some damn food out here somewhere.
There we go.
Charlie, say hello. Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley.
He's got, I'm going to make it, I call him a defective chihuahua. He's got one ear that flops down, and he just woke up from nap time, and he's a little bit crazy right now.
Yeah. Well, that's your
Angel's out there somewhere.
for you. So I wanna close this out and get your guys' final thoughts on this. And
I hope this isn't my final thought.
Well, no, but on this topic, it's over.
Is my color that bad?
No.
Okay.
So my final thought basically is, and it goes to kind of Guy's point, and I've even seen some comments in chat, right? But think about all of this stuff going on, Palestine, Ohio. Everything is basically created and presented in a way to divide people, and it's usually along political or social economic lines. And in my mind, right, because here you can have people, and they did this while Trump was president, and I'm sorry, but when I was younger, I was very much liberal, left-leaning, have fun kind of a guy. Yeah, the government's great, yada yada. Then I got into the military, and then I got out of the military, and as I've gotten older, I've really started to lean in other directions. And that happens when you generally get older, right? You become more conservative because you want to hold on to your stuff so you don't die poor and broke.
Didn't happen to me. Didn't happen to me at all.
That regardless, my point is that we live in a society now where it's very, very easy to divide and conquer.
Exactly.
All right. And
absolutely.
Now you can have people saying, well, look at FEMA. they're not responding fast enough. That's Biden's fault. Just like, when things didn't happen fast enough when Trump was office, it's Trump's fault. And now you got all this confusion and infighting, right? It was Reagan's fault. It was Clinton's fault. It was this, that, right? It becomes the focus point instead of fixing the goddamn problem. All right. So
pointing fingers.
Yeah. That childish
that's
stuff
true.
that they keep us locked in.
It's like, I'm sorry, do you not remember when George W. Bush flew over Katrina?
Oh, yeah.
Flew over. That's where we found out that FEMA was bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, right off the bat. So.
There are weapons of mass destruction over there. Come on, man. I mean,
I remember the speech that Bush gave, in the run up to that war, one speech where he said, something like, well, how did he put it? I don't recall. Hopefully we don't, it doesn't manifest itself in the form of a mushroom cloud over America. They had nukes. We knew let me tell you what, we've got things that will detect a nuclear explosion. We knew they didn't have nukes. And he didn't just infer it. Well, he did infer it. He didn't say they had them, but he inferred it very strongly. And I mean, it was all bullshit. And I knew it was. I mean, I'm sorry. I thought it was bullshit in the beginning because I used to listen to a lot of talks by a guy that had been a weapons inspector over there, who was kind of a whistleblower, and he swore that they didn't have them, that they didn't even have biological weapons, that they did at one time, but they gotten rid of them, and that proved to be the case. And all of those people the problem is, man, the people that rise to power are the wrong people. I listened to a brilliant guy the other day. So he said, this sounds real self-ingratiating or egotistical. He said the same thing I've thought for a long time, is that, most of these people that run this planet are psychopaths. They don't care about humanity. They care about their egos and money and power. And we get lied to all the time, man.
Well, we're given I think we're given the smoke screen of a lot of this stuff, because once these people do get in power, the last thing they want to have happen is lose it.
Right.
And I'm sorry, do maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but do anyone in this group or in this chat right now, do any of us want to hold a position of power? I think you kind of have to be a psycho to even want that. It's off the bat, I've never wanted anything like that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would I? Why? It's just, I'd rather, I feel in a lot of ways, doing what we're doing right now is a little bit more powerful, I think, in the long run in some ways than anything that they would do. So, it's a weird thing, but I've never had any interest in power. You know what I mean? It's just
did the American public want to invade Iraq? Did the Russian people
nobody?
Did the Russian people want to invade Ukraine? They don't give a shit, really. Most of them. Some of them have been brainwashed into thinking, he's told them NATO's going to invade us, which they're not going to do. And Iraq wasn't going to.
Doesn't make sense.
Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11, and
right. And I'm sure there's a ton of people in Russia that are like, what? Why the hell are we invading Ukraine? I'm sure there's a ton of people there that are thinking like that.
Well, he's paranoid about. He's nervous about NATO because mostly because of his ego, and he wants power, and makes a lot of money, and and it's the same is true of the United States. They're not that different when it comes to these sort of conflagrations around the world. Yeah, but Burton, I'm an old man. We've had a ton of wars. For Christ's sake, Vietnam was started. There was an incident in the Gulf of Tonkin where some supposedly North Vietnamese boats attacked the U.S. gunship.
False flag.
It's all bullshit. I listened to Robert McNamara say that.
That's a fact. No, that is a fact. There's no that's not a conspiracy theory. That is a fact.
And what is it? Some country on the other side of the world, the size of New Jersey, What if it goes? What if they have a different economic system suddenly? What, everybody's going to turn communist? Boy, that shit didn't happen. There's
Nope.
4 communist nations left in the world: Vietnam. I think it's Vietnam, Cuba, China, and maybe Thailand. I mean, it didn't. It's
North
not
Korea,
it's not a good system.
maybe.
Well, they're not really communist. They're just a crazy totalitarian regime.
Fair enough.
No, I mean, they're not considered communist.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
They're this psycho regime
wasn't
that's
sure.
just
I wasn't
something
sure.
else. But I just mean, these wars, we don't have any say in them because they're for. Oh man, I've watched a ton of. There's just a lot of reasons. We do it. We do it for money.
All right. Well, guy, let's not go down. We got other rabbit holes to go down here in a minute, but I want to turn it over to Michelle and see what her thoughts on this and her final thoughts as well on the whole conspiracy theory, because this is a rabbit hole from hell.
Well, my thoughts are, with everything that we're seeing right now, I hate to know what they're hiding, but I also hate to know what's next.
Right.
That's probably the biggest fear of mine. What is next?
Didn't even think about that yet. That's
great. Nice going, Michelle.
Sorry. I mean, we know that the government hides so much from us.
Yep.
They were doing it during wartime.
And I mean, there's that like I know Wayne, I know some people here watch the Rogan podcast from time to time, and I used to when it was on YouTube. I was a huge fan when I was on YouTube. Since it switched to Spotify, I have not been a heavy participant because I think like Spotify is just the worst app ever. Like it just never works. But he does have that guy Mike Baker on from the CIA.
Yeah.
And I love those episodes. And to Michelle's point, like they, like, according to him, he's like, yeah, we have to hide stuff. Like we can't tell you guys everything that's going on or everyone will freak out. Like, so there is that.
But I don't trust these 3-letter agencies at all. I think they killed Kennedy, RFK.
Hold on to your
MLK.
butt. Yeah, Jurassic Park. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, Ghost Dragon says it. They are hiding a lot, and this is just the beginning. Better hold on to your butts.
But in fairness, I think there are some things that should and are allowed to be hidden and kept secret. Like
you got to keep some stuff secret.
Yeah.
Right. Like there are like that. There is a matter of national security.
Sure.
So that there are reasons for some of it.
And see, this is why psychopaths like having the power, because when they got to make that call, right? You or I or people on this panel are probably watching this, probably would not want to be put in a position where you have to make the call to not tell somebody that something bad is about to happen or whatever, because it would kill a lot more people or more people would be injured or what, you know what I mean? And those people are able to make that call. It's like sending you, and I was in the military, it's like you're sending somebody up and around the corner to see what's around the building and the street. And that might be the last time you see them, right? And that's your call. But you got to protect the men that are with you on your squad. Right? But when you're talking about making big decisions, if you can be emotionally detached, which psychopaths are, and they love their power, I mean, that's why they're drawn to the whole political arena and all of this stuff. So
and they do train people to make those kind of decisions too.
Yeah.
So like,
they do.
There is that.
But I don't know. I still think it's a paradox that the people who are the most self-serving and self-centered and egotistical and just kind of generally psychopathic, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, are the people who ascend to these positions of power repeatedly. And I don't know how you fix that paradox that seems to repeat itself so often. Listen, I don't think every person that's ever Held Power's a psychopath, but I think a lot of them are. I
No,
think,
no,
I think
not
a lot
every.
more of them are now.
All right. Michelle,
Maybe.
were you done with your
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
I'm
we
waiting
interrupted-
for us to get to
I'm
that special
sorry.
video.
all right. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is the,
I
the
mean-
UFO
Yeah,
video.
This is the video that he talked about, like an
Now,
hour
where
ago.
does this video come from?
Okay, so this video comes from somebody I know who usually guests, like, is a guest star, does guest appearances on a very popular podcast, one of my favorites. And I don't want to get into too many details.
What's his
Um,
social security number?
Yeah.
Is
No, I don't-
Diane still here?
Yeah,
Diane's
Diane,
got to see this.
are you around?
I don't even know who it comes from, but just like where it is, and
Okay,
just
this
give me
is
a little
somewhere. This is somewhere in Nevada on the way from Texas to
Okay.
Las Vegas.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they're at a little town.
Okay.
And the pieces that I have that he was actually able to get and trim properly and all this stuff has some very like interesting images before I even hit play on this. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and present this.
This better be good, Wayne.
And this is something that was sent to you directly.
No,
Okay.
this was put on a public Discord server for the podcast that this person was talking about it.
Okay.
All right. Oh, there's
But this is-
Diane.
This is someone you know.
Hi,
and trust.
Diane.
But I
Right.
know them. Yes.
Right. Yeah. All right.
Yep. All right. I'm going to put this up. I'm going to leave that sit there for a minute. Let me
I mean,
blow it
that-
up.
To me, that looks like a normal airliner, right? Like,
Man, not exactly.
I mean, not exactly, but I could see one looking like that kind of a thing. Like,
Okay. So just go ahead and take a look at it. That's about the best I can do with blowing it up on a video on here.
no, it's fine. It's fine.
Look okay.
Yeah. No, I can see it clearly.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean,
Okay.
Oh,
I'm going to play it.
All
And
right.
hopefully you hear sound because you'll hear the reactions and then what happens at the end. And okay, I'm not going to say anything else.
it's already
What
crazy.
the fuck is that thing dropping? What was that? Hang on.
Now, wait till the after effect when they drive closer.
I heard a loud crash.
Yeah, this
Now
isn't a-
look
Whoa!
Whoa!
and look at the sky.
What the hell is that? Those jets?
Those
No.
Those are military
No.
fighters.
Wait,
Yeah,
are they?
I was gonna say those
Yeah.
look like F-16s. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I would peg them at F-16s.
Play
Now-
it again. Play it again.
Okay, I will, but I want you guys now that you saw that to look at this. Watch how this
That
thing
thing
drops.
Yeah.
This is not CGI. This is legit.
No. This
This
not
is legit.
CGI.
Something happened. And you can
Multiple
see
people are
there's some
filming.
kind of a contrail
Yeah.
right here. That is not
that-
a normal cloud.
Uh,
Okay, so-
that could be from a normal airliner, though, right? Like, couldn't it? Like,
It's too
Mm.
low.
okay,
right.
okay, okay,
Let's look
okay.
again. Here we
Fair
go.
enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that thing just dropped.
That's really goofy, man.
That's really. Wait, and then it just disappears behind the.
Okay. Did you hear what she said? Listen.
No.
Play it again.
Listen
Turn
to
the
what she
volume up?
says. I got it maxed. Turn your
Okay,
volume
all
up
right.
on your end.
Well,
Here we go. It's falling out of the sky like it came from outer space.
Yep.
Is what she
Yep.
says.
Yep. So, like, what? Whoa! Oh, wait, no. Actually, no. Hang on. Never mind. What? Wait. Hang on. Go back. There. Okay, play right there. I saw something. Hang on. So something shoots across the top of the screen, dude.
I think that's a bird.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
That's a bird.
Right there. Right there. Yeah. Yep.
That's a bird.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I see it now. That is a bird.
It's a crazy video, man.
So she's like, where the fuck did it drop? It's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
OMG, there's people out there looking at it.
There's multiple people out there.
And then I heard a
seeing-
loud crash.
So this is a mass sighting. This is multiple people seeing the same in the middle of the day. In the middle
And
of
there's
the
the
day. You said
fighters
this is-
going
this-
right in that same area.
and you said this is California, right?
I'm not-
Nevada.
He said
Nevada.
Nevada,
Okay,
yeah.
Nevada.
and
Wow.
that's that same road. But see, this is what tells me that this is not fake right here.
No, I don't believe it's fake.
Look,
don't think it's fake.
it's not just falling. If it was okay, like if you look at this streak right here, and Hellfire says it, he's saying that it's definitely re-entry burn off. Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
Well,
I'm
you
looking
know,
at this.
I don't know
one of
what
the
that
questions,
like.
one of the things that, and I know, like I said, a lot of people are repelled by Stephen Greer, including myself in some ways, but he
Yep.
swears a lot of this stuff. He swears we've got crazy technology ourselves. So, of course, I don't know why F-16s would be chasing it.
Yeah. So here you go. Look at that.
I mean, it drops from that. Like
That
what
it's
is-
under power. Like if that was something free falling, you would see it like
Yeah,
would-
it's not.
it would
No,
be
it's not.
spinning.
It's not dropping like a rock. I mean, it's
no.
yeah,
no.
it's a
But you would
control-
think it would be spinning, it would be on fire.
Yeah,
It-
no, that's a controlled descent, man.
this is
Yes.
controlled
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
very, very fast. Now, I'm gonna play it one more time, and then where did it go? It dropped.
Yeah, this would be a hard video to fake. I don't think it's fake at all.
No.
Oh,
Obviously we can't analyze it like Jim Delatosa or Bruce Maccabee, but it looks real to me.
Yeah.
yeah, but if it like okay, so if it were a SpaceX Dragon Hellfire, is there any reason why fighters would be chasing it? Like see, that's the thing, is it like with the plume at the top. I would try to find it. Yeah, exactly. With the plume at the top, Wayne, you as an experienced person, yes, go right there. Okay, so we see it dropping from the bottom of that line to begin.
Correct.
The plume at the top, like the white, like where it clearly yes, exactly. What is that? Can you explain that?
That could be where it slowed down and you might have had a sonic boom, because she said she heard a boom,
She did.
like an explosion.
Okay.
Oh,
And if you're slowing down rapidly, because if that was a burn, so and the burn off trail looks like, there would be color to it. This is more condensation.
Mhm.
When you can, if you ever go to an airport and watch airliners land and it's kind of a rainy day or a misty day, you'll see them coming in and off the tips of their wings. And I've been told they're chemtrails, and they're not. But you'll see the vortexes on the end of their wings, because you are super cooling the moisture in the air, and that super cooled moisture condenses on any kind of pollutants or any kind of particles in the air. And that gives you that cloud look. And the same
Oh.
thing happens when a vehicle goes supersonic or comes out of supersonic flight. So to me, this would be it's dropping, boom. Right there, it's now subsonic, it's slowed down, and it's slowing down, and then flying out of the out of the shot.
Just a thought. I got to throw this in, man. One thing that you hear it's absolutely universal is when people see craft that are, I'm just going to go ahead and say this, that clearly appear not to be terrestrial. There's never a sonic boom ever. They don't make them.
That is true. Like that is
I
that
mean,
like
never.
and you guys have been bringing up this this thing of like, I know this is a slightly different topic real quick, but like
Right.
of people like of different people witnessing the same thing but not seeing the same thing. Where it seems as though there's some sort of like cloaking mechanism on people's memory, people's eyes, or something
Yep.
like that.
They can do that. They can do that.
You guys have brought that up to me as a very common thing in ufology. Another very common thing is I saw this thing in the sky moving very fast and it had no sound. So for there to be a sonic boom, there obviously has to be sound. So yeah, that's
Well, Ed Cetera, who passed away, that we talked about, saw the same craft that I did. Said it was floating above his car, turned like a crab, started to float off across the farmer's field, and he said it literally went to warp speed like Star Wars, and there was no sonic boom. However, two F-16s came flying over his head, full afterburners, and Ed knew planes because he'd been a radar specialist in the Air Force, I believe. Anyway, there was no sonic boom. There's never a sonic boom with these things. So I can't hear the audio, so I don't know if it was a sonic boom. But if there was a sonic boom,
there was no boom in the video.
I'm suspicious of what
She
it is.
She just says she heard one.
Yeah.
That's
well,
weird.
Here's the thing. And the reason I'm saying this is a very strange thing going on is that on our next live, I will have queued up his eyewitness account of what he saw and what happened here.
That's
and
cool.
we'll play it. Probably everybody will then be able to figure out who this is. But this person has been into UFOs and a historical person when it comes to this for many, many years. Like many years. I consider this dude one of the top, if not the top, like researchers and presenters on this. And when he first saw this thing, he could see it through his window on his car. But when he got out of his car to initially look at it, he couldn't see it with his naked eye. He gets back in the car and looks out the window and he sees it.
Man,
and his wife keeps telling him she sees it. And then he gets out, he can't see it, goes back in, sees it, comes back out. Now he can see something and it looks like it's changing shape.
Wow.
And it's going from black to like silver. And you know, I'll end up playing for you guys his account. And this is the video that he was able to trim up and get together. And then he says, then the jets come. And if this is private company, and by the way, he knows his stuff, he knows his area, he goes to Vegas quite often with his wife. They do the drive from Texas, you know, over to Nevada. And this guy is a big name, by the way. You'll know eventually. There is no bases. There are no bases in that area. No airports where they were at. Nothing that would handle anything like this. So, yeah, I'm
strange.
That's a weird one.
It is. It's really weird. So what I wanted to do though, let me show you guys. So because I knew you guys would probably be on me about this. Nobody's asked me, but here's a screenshot. So I wanted to freeze this. It looks like it's going up
It does. That's the
and then
thing.
coming down, right?
Yes.
Could it be a rocket? I don't know. All right. But this is the best you could get. That's no rocket.
Wow, that's strange.
Look at this.
Damn.
Come on, guys. I know the resolution, that's about the best you're going to get off of a iPhone. You know,
Yeah. It's weird.
what is this?
But it's actually pretty good. It's actually
It
not,
is pretty good, right?
like
Yeah, it's not
we
bad.
can clearly see that like sort
look
of
around
almost
it.
triangular shape.
And I mean, who's gonna hoax this for what? You know?
No, this guy would
No, I
not.
don't see
He
this
would,
hoax.
if he posted
no,
something.
no, I don't. I'm just
No,
saying that's you know, some people, you know,
Yeah.
will try to
No.
Well,
dismiss
and that's
everything.
the problem with this field.
I know.
Now, like 15 years ago, when I was a kid, back in like I don't know 2005 or so, I built rockets and launched them for science class and all that stuff. Could they have rockets that look like this now, that can fly that high up in the sky? I don't have any doubt of that. at
Well,
all.
you know,
They might.
Hellfire says it could be a deorbiting satellite, but
They
why?
usually-
Why does it look
they-
like it went up?
and they usually crash those over an ocean.
Yeah,
Is this anywhere near an ocean?
yeah.
Like
No, it's
so.
It's in
so, yeah,
between
they usually
Texas and Nevada.
they intentionally usually land those in the water. I believe. Occasionally they'll land on land, but I think they typically, like decommissioned satellites, typically aim for the water and then they just go and recover them.
It's a hell of a video. Diane said that is
Yeah.
really good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a neat video. It's really odd whether if it's it might be some dark project we've got, although I don't know why they'd be buzzing the thing with F-16s. I mean,
4.
yeah.
You know, you would
And-
use chase
No,
planes.
no, there's no question. It went up and came back down. That's
It
the
looks
only
like it.
that's the only explanation for that exhaust trail, if whatever you want to call it. Like that, there's nothing out because it's literally, when you watch the video, it's literally following the line of that exhaust trail. Like it's in perfect harmony. So
Wild video, man. It
I-
really is a good video.
that might be just somebody's.
Dude, this is one of the best
Something.
I've seen.
That's a good one.
Well, you know who it came from too, and that helps. You know the provenance of the thing.
Yeah.
You know,
But
with
here's
some
the-
jackaloon you don't know.
that
it's gonna
sound,
go
by
on.
the way, of the tire peeling out, that was somebody else who was watching it, and they took off after seeing this.
Well, hopefully. Who knows?
So he's
maybe
getting
they
back in his car.
They took off which direction?
It's a nice car. Looks like a nice car. Probably a Honda.
You really want to meet who's ever driving that thing? I don't know.
Look at those.
That is what
That is cool.
that's what blows
Bro.
me away is the damn jets. You know?
Yeah, and they look so damn cool.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, I
Dude,
love watching.
You
them
just
fly.
never know. I mean, we might have some high tech. I'm sure we've got. I mean, we've got stuff that's really advanced, but I don't know. Like I said, in this one, what blows me away is that the jets are there, because why would they want to bring attention to it? Why would they be chasing it? What would be the alarm, so to speak? So I don't know.
Hey,
dude, you can
Tape-
call it whatever you want, but good luck explaining the fighters scrambling to it. Exactly.
That's what I said. Yeah, that's the bottom
Tape-
line for me is what's that about?
I mean, you got 4 fighters, so you have
Dwarf?
a small squadron, right? You got a lead fighter and his wingman, and then another lead fighter and their wingman that are
Like-
going after what?
You
What?
don't just scramble jets for no reason.
No, you know how much that cost right there?
Lots.
And,
yeah,
and look at
yeah.
the formations. Look at the formations. You got 2 guys going wide. He's in the back covering him. They're up high. Right? And you've got the Overwatch guy and you got the lead aircraft right there.
So how you, as a former pilot, how would
Yeah.
you describe this formation? Is this an attack formation? What is this?
No, I would classify this more like somebody has got to investigate
Okay.
and somebody's got to
I
keep
think the
watch.
technical name, that's an oh shit formation.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
See, at first I thought, oh, okay, they're flying in a triangle or a pyramid diamond
Something,
formation.
Yeah, diamond,
like
diamond,
a diamond
yeah,
formation,
yeah.
right? But when they complete the turn, you'll see that these two are a little further ahead and up higher, and these guys are skimming the ground. I mean, for a fighter jet doing
Yeah.
400 miles an hour or so right here,
And look, like our
watch.
our force is
It's like one of those Blue Angels shows, you know?
Yeah, look at that.
look, he's curving.
Look at the bank on this guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's banking.
They
Yeah,
get so much
exactly.
thrust they can fly.
And he's the low one, right?
This guy here is the low one. This guy's
Yeah.
a little bit higher.
Okay.
But
Oh,
these
okay.
guys could be
All right.
looking for if this thing, whatever it is on the ground.
Went to the
But
ground, right?
they never heard an explosion or saw a fire or anything from hitting the ground. And you saw how fast that thing was dropping. If it hit the ground,
I mean, we
I
also
mean,
don't
okay.
know how
That
far
is
away
crazy,
they were,
man.
So
That's real odd looking. It definitely
Okay.
is odd looking.
I'm gonna blow this up and you guys tell me, does it look like the thing is dropping and then it starts to fly away from you?
okay.
Right there.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Like
Yeah, it might.
parallax, right?
It
It
might
went
be.
straight, dude. Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like it went straight away. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it was getting smaller, like
Yes.
going away.
Never.
yeah.
It never crashed. It kept flying.
And now it flattens out
Yep.
right there.
Like more saucer, and then
And
zips off.
parallax makes it look like it's still going down into the ground, but it's actually moving away.
I would
Yep.
say I know what I've seen. There's a lot of weird shit flying around, and I was 125 foot from the thing, and it was parked. I mean, so it's fascinating, kind of old news to me. I'm like the old thing about we're not alone, which they've tried very hard to make into a pop culture meme and reduce it to silliness, is just it's a reality. Of course, we're not alone. It's a dumb idea in the first place. I never believed that. But I've got the proof. So, and not the proof for me, I
Right.
have the proof for the world. So,
And you're
I don't
bringing
care what
that
people
up,
believe.
and I want to like start wrapping this up here and kind of go back to when we had Soraya Azkath on the podcast. And one of the things I heard him say, as my voice is starting to give out, and I hope everybody's enjoyed
Well,
that
you know
video.
what? Right now it's 11:11. So,
Make a wish.
Ooh. All right. So he said that a lot of the stories is all we're going to have. And I agree because
mhm,
that's all Michelle and I have. That's all you guy, guy, that's all you have.
that's it.
But how did he put it? I'm trying to remember. It seems like these experiences are catered or designed to be a personal experience
Mm.
for only
Yeah,
certain
maybe.
people, and that's why some people see these things
Yeah.
and the person right next to you don't.
Well, it's like the video that I shared with you and Burton on Messenger, from the clip from Preston Dennett's most recent video, where there was a damn saucer hovering right above a stadium, and this kid and his family all saw it and were standing in wonder. But afterwards, only him and one sister could remember it. I mean,
Right.
it's crazy shit.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to believe till it happens to them. Happened to me. Happened to you.
All right, Guy, let's go
Yes.
ahead and play this. See what Stephen
Oh,
Greer
I
has
just
to say.
I just thought it was a pretty good, interesting video. Can you do I click
I
on
got
or
it.
do- Okay,
Nope.
yeah.
Here we go. So this is from Guy. Let's see
Well, I
what,
just
what
thought
he
it was
picked out.
some interesting observations, and I
Yeah,
generally
all
agreed
right.
with him in this case.
Hey.
You know,
You know what? It only takes one time to be right. So
Yep.
maybe you don't
Yeah.
agree with Stephen Greer
Yeah.
99% of the time,
Right.
but that 1%, you might be onto something.
Don't throw
yeah.
the baby out with the bathwater.
Bathwater.
That's right.
Yeah.
Stop picking sides in UFO or ufology, people.
I
Don't
agree.
pick sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep-
Stop being
Probably.
so
Keep your
limited.
brain open, but
Yeah.
not so open-minded that your brain falls out.
Be
Right.
open.
Yeah,
Always.
here we go.
He makes some good
Objects.
arguments.
Remember, they're going along at speed, and even the ones that have been in the media over the last few years, the so-called Tic Tac, and others that have been on CNN and everywhere else, those were from the Lockheed Skunk Works. Now, an actual extraterrestrial vehicle, you're not going to shoot that down with a kinetic weapon, and you're not going to shoot that down with a laser. It's going to take a very sophisticated directional energy weapon to do that, which they have. But
I agree.
this, I believe, is part of a diversion. Well, some people would call it a false flag to sort of put this on the radar at a time where they want to divert people's attention from other issues, and most importantly, the lawmakers away from the information that they were beginning to drill down on.
All right, I want to pause it right there real quick. I agree with the distraction because I think we all kind of agreed that's what's going on right
Yeah.
now.
I think so.
Yep.
But I'm not gonna say false flag.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That is a
I
different
don't,
meaning.
because a
Yeah.
false flag is your Gulf of Tonkin kind of a thing
Yeah.
where they want to justify war based
Right.
on something that's not true. So I'm just throwing
Yeah.
that out there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
far,
Right.
yeah.
the last year about the actual origin of UFOs and UAPs, a percentage of which are, in fact, of extraterrestrial origin. The majority of ones people see are clandestine and illegally funded aerospace platforms of various types.
That's it.
Sure.
I just
Yeah.
thought some of the things he said, as much as, he can irritate me. And I mean, there was a time when he said he said that virtually all alien abductions were the military. And you're going to have somebody on your show. I don't know. I want to be careful because it was said to me kind of in confidence, but he's in the last few years, he's told other researchers, okay, and I got this from one of those researchers privately, that he's admitted to them that some alien abductions are aliens. Okay. So he's come around a bit, and there's things about him. I disagree with him on some things, but I thought he made some good. I think this is some kind of weird distraction. It's like prestidigitation. Look at this hand. Watch this. I think somebody said that in the chat. It's like, look over here. I don't know just why. I don't, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I do think we have some very advanced stuff, and I do think people see advanced things. I do not believe I saw the TR-3B. I don't think the TR-3B put a beam of blue light around my house and froze me, which my ex-wife said happened. I saw it myself 4 nights earlier. You're telling me this is the government, and I have changes to my consciousness. I see sequences of numbers, all this weird stuff around our house. I mean, that ain't the government, man. And he wants to tell you that it is, or he used to for a long time, at least. But so am I a huge fan of him? No, but I thought he made some reasonable points in that clip.
Yeah. Well, we all know that the government will never let a good crisis go to waste. Burton,
That's
to you.
true. Yeah. No, all I was gonna say is that much like Linda Moulton Howe or your Graham Hancock or Graham Hancock wrote a book saying the world was gonna end in 2012, but yet we're all still totally waving his flag about the ancient archaeology stuff. And it's okay, it should be okay to get things wrong.
Yep.
That doesn't mean you've gotten everything wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We're all humans here. We're allowed to get things wrong from time to time. That doesn't mean that everything is wrong. You know what I mean? So it just
Correct.
that's kind of where I'm at on Stephen Greer is like, yeah, some of the stuff he says, I'm like, okay,
Yeah, me
calm
too.
down,
Yeah,
calm
no,
down
no,
a
I'm
little
same
bit.
way, man.
But calm down, bro. But it's but at the same time, some of it, he is, I think, spot on.
Well, and he
So-
did pull together that big conference years and years ago on Congress
Yeah.
where all the military people.
Yes.
I mean, he's
Yes.
done some good work.
He has.
You know, this
He
is
really
the thing
has.
is where there's too much infighting in this whole thing.
Right.
I
Why are we
mean-
all fight? Why are we fighting? We're all like, this is the community. Why do we fight with each other? I don't understand.
Ego is the enemy.
Ah,
Ego is
Well,
it's a problem. Everybody
the biggest
everybody wants to be right and make money and bullshit. You know?
Okay, so that's exactly it. I'm not even going to say it's ego. I'll disagree with you there, Guy, but I will agree with you with your second part of that statement, which everybody wants to be right. So everybody thinks that it's their story, it's their experience, and that's it. And those
Why?
people, the people that lose it for me are the ones that say they know everything there is to know.
Yeah.
And
No, see,
And I'll say this, Greer's a little bit like that in my
yes,
opinion.
he is.
In my
sometimes,
opinion, all right?
yes. Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
It's just so much more fun to still stop saying you think you know everything. It's more fun to not. It's more fun to keep exploring. Why are you ending your exploration by saying you know things? Like that's the once you think you know stuff, that's the end of your exploration. Like, keep exploring. Like, keep going. Like, why are we stopping?
Yeah.
And when nobody has to fight. Like, we can all be friends. Like,
Well, Burton, you asked a very good question there. Why are we stopping? We're stopping
Yeah.
because it's the end of the show.
well, fair enough.
All right.
This has been a great one.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. We hope everybody watching enjoyed it. So once again, if you want to find Burton, you can find his podcast. He's got 2 of them. Burton?
Yep. Lost in the Dark podcast, exclusively on YouTube, and Follow the Reaper, which is the paranormal podcast. That one is on Apple Podcast and Spotify and audio only. And brand new episode just came out tonight or earlier today, actually. And please, if anybody out there has any paranormal stories they would like to share, send them to me and Wayne and Michelle so we can all share them on our different platforms.
Yep. And you can always find us at mi.ufo.podcast@gmail.com. And if you want to just send it to us, we'll forward it off to Burton if you tell us to do so.
That would be awesome
as well.
That'd be awesome.
All that information. Yeah. And all that information is found in the show description. Guy, you got anything going on?
I can usually be found on the couch taking a nap.
Or
if you happen to be driving by.
Do you live stream that on Twitch?
I should. It's fascinating. I'm honing napping to it on art.
People would probably love your dog like hopping up on you and licking your face.
Oh my God, he's crazy. Charlie, I lay
Charlie
down, he jumps on my chest, and he's we didn't teach him to fetch, and he's got these balls, and he brings them to me, and I think he thinks I like to throw them for him, and he's like, Dad, Dad's annoying. I know I've got to take him this ball. He'll do it for like 45 minutes. I mean, it's crazy. Okay, here's your ball, here's your ball, here's your ball. But anyway, no, I've got the YouTube channel if anybody wants to check out my story. I've got remodeling videos, a 5-part pellet stove review, old band videos, and I've got this 5-part story of what happened in terms of seeing a UFO. I don't care who likes it and who doesn't like it. My coworkers got abducted, and I know what happened. And 2 other ladies got abducted at the same spot, according to MUFON, 6 hours, 7 hours before. Then I had some more experiences. You can watch it if you want to. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to. It's there. It's the truth. If you'd like
Yep.
to become a Patreon member, you can't because I don't want your fucking money.
God, that was the best. You can't.
You can't become a patron.
All I did was tell the truth.
What's the
And I don't
pellet? What do you mean?
I don't give a
pellet stove?
shit about money.
What do you mean? You have videos about a pellet stove? What do you mean?
Oh, we have a pellet stove, and we had some problems with it, so I made it like a 5-part review of it. And then I didn't make that channel to do UFO stuff, man.
No, yeah, no, I know,
I
I
mean-
know. But do you cook on it? Like what?
No, you know what? I didn't know what they were either. We had a regular fireplace, and Linda said, I want to get a pellet stove. And I said, what the hell's a pellet stove?
They're awesome.
What you do is you buy these wood pellets in bags.
Yeah.
It's less messy.
Yeah.
And some of them will burn corn pellets, and ours just, I remodeled this whole room and gutted it and put the stove in, and we love it, man. It's nice. It's nice and neat, and
they're awesome. Yeah, no, I only asked because I have a pellet smoker. I'm a big I smoke. I smoke a lot of meats. I do a lot of barbecue stuff.
how come you never call me and say, Guy, come on? I got some.
Well,
I love barbecue, man.
Okay, all right. Well,
We got to, we've never gotten
we all
together.
have to get together. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I
we're
mean,
trying
come
to
on,
in
man.
March for this stuff. So
And also, just so everybody knows that I am working on doing a live show from our favorite little New Boston Coney and Grill. So
really?
Wow.
yeah, so it's gonna be
I
middle.
love
middle-
Coney's, man. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
middle or late spring. Been given permission that I can bring stuff in there, get set up, and we're gonna make a big thing of it. So there'll be more information on that coming up. So all right, guys, I'm gonna boot you guys to the back room.
Peace.
All right.
Be nice to each other.
Yep,
Love
to
you
the
all.
green room they go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Talk to you in a minute. All right, Michelle. Phew. What a show, eh?
Yeah, and it's been a long week.
It has been. It's been a long week. So everybody, make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, help that that algorithm or whatever it is that they put out there. You can find all of our information down in the show description as we are running on fumes right now. So I don't know. Michelle, you ready to go?
Yeah, we'll see you guys in a couple
All
weeks.
right. Thanks, everybody. And remember, you might get that next awesome UFO video like you saw here. But keep those eyes to that sky.